Hi, welcome to A Week in Walford, the EastEnders review show presented by two people hoping that if we keep flossing, we'll get teeth as dazzling as Ruby Allen's. I'm David Brown.
And I'm Johnathon Hughes.
This week's headlines: Bev lowers the tone,
Kush cries it out,
and Ritchie to the rescue. Well, I was a little bit disturbed on Thursday's EastEnders. I thought it was nasty for nasty's sake, actually, that showdown between Bev and Hayley. I mean, that's the usual thing about EastEnders, isn't it? People always saying it's just people shouting at each other. But this time...
It was. I always defend that. Oh, I don't watch EastEnders, it's just a load of people shouting. My ears are ringing and my nightmares are plagued by that final showdown. I just felt it kind of went on too long. We got the point. Bev's a bad mum, she's horrible, she makes Hayley feel bad about herself, but really, blood everywhere, screaming, pregnant women in a heap on the pavement, and no one helped. Not even that cab driver was worried, was he?
All those horrendous references, very casual, to abortion and sucking it out. And all that.
I wish you'd been born dead.
Yeah, it was too grim for words. I thought
it's like The Walking Dead. It was very graphic as well. I thought all the blood. I don't know. It was. It left a bad kind of vibe.
Yeah, inappropriate for the time slot, I think. I wondered how it had got through compliance, and I thought, we already had quite a bit of sympathy and empathy for Hayley.
Yeah, so if this was meant to make us not hate Hayley, we didn't hate her anyway.
No, so why did we need this demon mum to turn up?
Yeah.
To make her feel this big? I mean, I thought it was...
It's a bit unnecessary, and also her return the next episode, where she, I think Bev was meant to live in Clacton or something. She came all that way to East London to stand outside a tube station for 90 seconds for Jean to tell her she didn't like her. Then she went home.
I know, I didn't understand that bit at all, actually.
I think the whole getting Bev in felt slightly contrived.
Yeah.
Almost like they've done it too early. Hayley's she's still a new character. And she's establishing herself, but I think she's great. I love Katie Jarvis, and I think
I think she's excellent.
Yeah, really good. But I don't know. I felt like they rushed it a bit. I felt like they'd never mentioned her mum really before, so a bit odd and so horrible.
She made Karen Taylor look like Mother Teresa, didn't she?
Well, she had Karen Taylor's distinctive outfit. Yeah, definitely.
Sleeveless.
Yeah, sleeveless. Yeah, sleeveless and moralless.
The trouble is, often these characters are kind of softened the longer they're in it, but I don't think you can come back from making comments like this.
I'm saying having it all sucked out, whatever. Yeah, I shouldn't come back from that. Maybe she's the female Archie Mitchell and she's going to be the worst parent ever and become this big villain. But my ears are ringing, as I say. But don't come back, Bev.
No, please don't.
Stay away.
Much more successful, I thought, was Kush and Carmel scenes this week. Kush finally kind of confronting his grief and pouring his heart out to his mum.
I know, and he kept his clothes on.
Yes,
look what he can do.
Doesn't always need to be semi-naked.
Doesn't always need to resort to the pecs.
No.
What was good about it was that it's almost like the show have remembered that this is Kush's story too, because he hasn't had a lot of focus on him really.
No.
Not since the very, very first week after Shaki died. So it was very affecting, and I think, and we've said this before, but focusing on the domestic side of the grief of the Kazimis, much more successful than Anna's I Can See What They're Doing, but Carmel and her crusade, tub thumping a little bit when she was doing that radio interview. It is all obviously statistics that are true, but it's a little bit like public information film, and that left me kind of bizarrely a bit cold, but the scenes with Kush talking about it were so moving, so I think they just need to focus on that more.
Yeah, and they need to kind of give these storylines the space on the show that they deserve, because I think the problem with EastEnders a lot at the moment is that it's very stop-start. The knife crime story is picked up and then dropped again for weeks at a time.
Yeah.
Think of all the other instances where this has happened. Max and Rainey, no sign of them at all.
I know,
Ian's restaurant opened the other week and he caught Masood and Kathy kissing. We've not had a glimpse of them since. It's almost like it's a shift rota.
Yes.
They're penciled in this week, but they're not available for 3 weeks after that. So
we'll just ignore that now.
It's really strange. It's almost like they could film it in any order they want
and slot it together.
Yeah, because people don't cross over.
No, and I think that's what you miss in the soap. When it's not happening, you notice that everything's quite localised. All these storylines are happening in isolation. You don't get the sense that it's a community.
No, it's very blocky.
Missing. Yeah, and it gives storylines a lack of momentum. They're good plots. The knife crime plot is a good plot. Rainey and Max, good, and Kit has kept us kind of interested. finally went somewhere last week and now it's gone away again.
Yeah.
So it does lead to a lack of momentum. I would agree with that. Although I do feel they're setting up Carmel's exit, don't you, with this
the charity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she's going to, the ginger Batman analogy that Keegan came up with last week, she's going to go and fight crime.
Off to Gotham. Yeah, well, on to the final storyline of the week, which we're going to look at, which is, of course, the Whodunit. Again, another storyline which only affects a certain group of characters.
Yes, no one else. It's just in the Vic, isn't it?
Yeah, they're not under suspicion outside of the Vic, so it's very much focused on the Carters. Yeah. If only they had some CCTV at the Vic, which I think is recommended now, isn't it, for pubs to have closed-circuit TV?
Yes, that would be a good idea. And also a stairgate to that roof of doom in the Vic while we're at it. If we're doing renovations, can we put a block to that place? But, it's very strange.
Yeah, but at least it was given a little bit of momentum by the inclusion of Uber solicitor Ritchie.
No nonsense Ritchie.
Yeah, who was back with her Supreme Bob. And
a symmetrical killer Bob.
I think she could crack this case wide open.
Yeah.
Although, to be honest, Shirley's been doing quite a good job of that already, hasn't she?
Shirley's on fire. Shirley's like cracker.
Yeah, she really is.
She's psychologically profiling everyone. That scene with Linda at the kitchen table, she's like, what about the gun? Well, where did you find it? But where was it? It's still in box. It was like Line of Duty or something. She was really like hammering it in there. Her and Ritchie should team up.
Yeah, definitely.
Like Scott and Bailey.
I think they could come into the final episode of Bodyguard. They could.
Oh, absolutely. Solve it all.
Definitely.
Yeah, really. I love that.
But now we find that the future is basically Mick behind bars. That's the thing, isn't it? You know, because Stuart has kind of incriminated him.
Yes.
We still don't know why Stuart has decided to take this revenge.
No, there was a hint of it this week because Zara said, but what did Mick do when you covered up for his crime when you were teenagers? And Stuart went, that's not important. Yes, it is.
We want to know the root of this animosity.
Because we don't know. Maybe they haven't written it yet.
Yes, that's right. And also, Ritchie, they've got some evidence against Mick.
What is it?
Yeah.
Who comes in and says, we've got some evidence, but because it's a diff, I can't actually tell you what it is.
No, that's right.
We are dying to know. Please, Ritchie, tell us. Please, Ritchie, never leave again because we love you.
Yeah, so Mick's off to jail. We're off to book some tickets to see Danny Dyer in the West End. We'll be back in 7 days' time with another week in Walford.